The S&P 500 is down a full percent. We are sitting on the 4-hour time frame. There's a lot of stuff we got to talk about. First things first, we are seeing a bearish pattern play out in the SPY. There's a couple things that look decent, but I'm going to show you overall macro perspective. It looks like we are setting up for another move down. Then we got to talk about GameStop. We got to talk about what Bitcoin is doing, what events we have, and then the data that we just got that is ultimately affecting the market and what is to come next. Watch until the end of the video. We are going to talk about a couple other things. In the meantime, I'm going to try to make this video as brief as possible so that way you guys get all the information without wasting anyone's time. All I ask you to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn post notifications on. Let's get into it. 548.10 on the SPY. We came and we wicked all the way back into this channel, coming down to 541.50 on the SPY. Now you can see we have these lower wicks, 1, 2, 3, showing every time the SPY sells off, buyers step in and it immediately gets bought back up. But when will that end? When will they stop buying up on the SPY? We originally had a price target of around 565 based on the W pattern we had in the SPY, bring us to that level. However, we are in this rising wedge, so once this wedge fails, it's likely to print out a bearish pattern. We come and we take a look at the VIX. It's up 6.5%. Now, what's very important is if the VIX breaks under 20, markets are likely calming down. We only got down to about 24, so showing now we are getting a green candle right now. The markets are still uncertain and also potentially entering into another panic mode pretty soon as the VIX makes higher highs, which is a little bit odd. We don't see that too often. Now on the daily time frame, why did this happen? Why did we wick down? Aside from the data that I'm going to show you in a second, you can see on the weekly time frame, the last time we had a huge volume candle was this candle right here with this higher upper wick. Okay, very important. A lot of times the stock market likes to pull back to these ranges, to these regions. Now, the last time the SPY had any sort of volume that was relatively higher than the volume we've been seeing was right here, April 23rd, with this wick right here. And you can see that's exactly where we pulled back to. We pulled back into this range to match this wick as a liquidity zone to kind of retest our momentum. And we are also still building a candle on top of this descending parallel channel. So we are seeing a couple of things that still line up bullish. But what is bearish about all of this? First of all, the rising wedge, bearish signal. Second of all, fading volume, hard fading volume. Meaning you have fading volume on any sort of rise, there will be a move, and what that move is likely to print based on the chart we're seeing is a large down move. Okay, so that's a big warning right now for the S&P 500. Now, we had US Q1 GDP coming out falling 0.3%, estimated 0.2%, previously 2.4%. Now we have slowing growth, negative GDP, weak labor market, job miss, rising inflation, hotter than expected PCE. It's a nightmare scenario for the Fed because their usual tools contradict each other here. To fight inflation, they'd raise rates, but to stimulate growth and jobs, they'd cut rates, but they can't do both at once. So if they cut rates to support the economy, inflation could worsen. If they hike to tame inflation, they risk deepening the slowdown, which is ultimately pinning the Fed into an extremely tight corner. Policy paralysis might be the next phase. In other words, traders, investors, they got to price in the market as the market. They can't really, the Fed really can't do anything here. They can't really intervene. Now, on top of that, we have Japan's rate decision tonight. And what the word around the street is that they are going to just hold rates here. If they end up doing an emergency hike, it's going to continue that carry trade unwind. It's likely going to have major effects on the markets as well as GameStop. And then we are also seeing Trump come out and say China's weak, and we are seeing China's overnight economic data come out weak as well. Manufacturing PMI missing, services PMI missing, composite PMI missing. China's economy is crumbling amid tariff wars. Before I show you something that is pretty important, I want to tell you about the sponsor of today's video, Pivazon. I'm going to plug it right here. Emotions always come in the way of trading. Pivazon is an automated Forex trading robot. Luckily, I've partnered with the team and have provided you a link down below. This Forex trading robot is smart and strategic. It runs on MT4 and trades gold with precision. With high quality tick data and algorithms, it spots winning trades. Best part, I don't have to watch the market, nor do I have to deal with my emotions because it has built-in stop loss, take profit, and martingale features. If this sounds interesting to you and you want to trade smarter, not harder, and remove your emotions, check the link for Pivazon down below. Okay, now back to it. Bitcoin trading at 93,000. I told you we come up to this key point, and this is very dangerous. We got the question marks right above these key points. I'll show you right here, right above these key points. Is Bitcoin going to make a decision? What's the decision? Now, if the markets are going to print out this bearish setup, this is what Bitcoin's going to do. It's likely going to sell off into late June before getting a catapult higher, which is ultimately going to delay a lot of things for us. GameStop, MicroStrategy, they are going to get hit pretty hard until that time frame, and then you have that ultimately that meeting. Now let's hope that isn't the case and that doesn't happen, and that at some point the Fed intervenes, and that hopefully this cycle's a little bit different. We already got rejected right around 95K, almost 96. And 96 is that first important level, but ultimately 99 is that next important level for Bitcoin to break back above. So we need to continue to watch that. GameStop, even though the market's red, is still resilient. It is flat on the day, slightly green, but you can see earlier in the day on the 1 hour time frame, we pressed up again against this resistance level. This is now a ceiling that GameStop is trying to break, and you can see the spring is building. This is the longest time we've hugged up against this channel before we had a move. We have not built consolidation at the top of this, which this, just from a technical standpoint, is extremely bullish. Okay, at some point here, GameStop could print out a huge green candle and break us out of this. And likely we are just watching what the market's going to do, what Bitcoin's going to do, so on and so on and so on. But is it time? We are seeing a lot of call premium being loaded up on GameStop as well. Guys, if you didn't like the video, subscribe to my channel. Now, we also saw massive FTDs reported on XRT, which is the main ETF used to short GameStop, to the tune of $101 million from April 3rd and April 4th. What happened on April 3rd and April 4th on GameStop? That is exactly when we started to break and crack out of this channel. And of course, they tried to keep it down and pin the algorithm, because you know that we were supposed to see this move down, but instead Ryan Cohen came out and said, hey, we're going to buy Bitcoin. We did that convertible bond thing, so on and so on and so on. AMC is officially depegged from GameStop. It's down about 4%, 258, but this is okay that it's getting a little bit of sell pressure. This is fine. I actually would prefer this than the barcoding. This is important. The fact that you're seeing any price action that is actually in a direction instead of just stagnating with barcodes sideways. AMC has earnings coming up pretty soon, and hopefully that's going to be the catalyst to push this thing one way or the other. If we sell off and we make new lows here into earnings and then they come out cash flow positive, that will be a beautiful, beautiful thing to see. So that's something that we are watching for as well. Now, a little sprinkle on top. Ken Griffin is now warning the SEC that about the private rooms. 24-hour trading are emerging risks. Ken Griffin of Citadel is now warning the SEC about the risk of private rooms, dark pools on steroids, aka, right? And it doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't make any sense. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I want to talk about MicroStrategy very quickly. This is a daily time frame. We got a candle building off of that 362.75 level. And this is just extremely bullish. I actually think MicroStrategy is squeezing. I gave you this under 300 and I said it's on its way to 360, but it's sitting at a 12% short interest. And as Bitcoin climbed a little bit, MicroStrategy climbed a lot, right? So ultimately, we need to see what Bitcoin's going to do. But if Bitcoin decides it wants to break 96 and break 99, you're likely going to see MicroStrategy squeeze. And on top of that, it's great to have them, Michael Saylor, as a partner with GameStop. Tesla did come back into this zone. I said initially watch for a pullback between 275, 271. We got the pullback to 275. Today we got the pullback to 271. This is where Tesla needs to show us some legs and some strength. We have major earnings tonight, and the two that I am playing are Microsoft and Robinhood, but we also have Meta and Qualcomm that are important as well. I actually believe for Microsoft that we are going to see a move between 428 and 433 tonight, and that is my price target. I think we go up on Microsoft. This is high risk. If we fail, Microsoft has bad earnings, you're going down to 350, so write those numbers down. Robinhood, I do believe it will get above $53.50. Between $53 and $60 is my price target for Robinhood, but again, there's always that risk for it to come down to 42, so keep that in mind as well. Overall, guys, if you want to see this trading platform over here, Top One Futures, that I am trading on, make sure to press that top link. Use code LOTTO at checkout for 50% off your account while April is still here. That is what I got for you guys for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching or found value out of the video. Don't forget to press the very top link for Pivazon in the comments down below. Join my Discord server. Get your free stocks. I love you all. God bless. Lottery Stocks out.